So should we start this going and then talk a little bit more while it's running?
Right.
So you're actually running this in software. So we're just actually showing this. So it's actually going to scan each of the faces right now.
We did the scanning part
That's been pre-done
earlier. So what we're doing now is just executing the solution, and with any luck, it's going to work.
So basically, it's got 2 sets of handles and well, 3 sets of handles that move it around. How did you come up with this idea? What was the
Well, I
did
think
you wake up in the middle of the night and think to myself, I can solve a Rubik's Cube with Legos?
You know, anyone who's at all into sort of tech trivia has a Rubik's Cube kicking around their house. And I was actually in a neighbour's house and saw this Rubik's Cube, you know, kicking around there totally unsolved. And he was like, have you ever solved it? No, I have not. And then I was thinking, and neither have I. You know, and there were really 2 options. One was to go out and get a book and learn how to do it and spend, you know, a couple of weeks doing that. And the other was to do what I thought was going to be a couple of weeks and make a Lego robot to do it. And it turned out to be more like a 4-month project. It was far more complicated than I initially thought it was going to be.
Why was it so complicated to work out?
There were really 3 factors. One was that Lego is kind of bendy. What I was looking for was something that would kind of kung fu the cube back into one piece.
You used to see those people on the television shows would just be like...
Right. And as you can see, this is more of a sort of Tai Chi,
it's very gentle.
Slow and gentle thing. The next problem was that I was pretty sure that there was going to be some... there was going to be some software out there for doing the color recognition, and there really wasn't. And that made it difficult because I had to write this color software from scratch. And then secondly, the Lego camera is not, you know, it's a great little webcam, but it's not an industrial unit. You know, and it turns out that the thing that determines whether video color recognition works really well is the quality of your camera.
Got it.
So,
because you can see where it's like, that's supposed to be orange.
Right.
Those are white, and some of the yellows are a little funky too. So I noticed that you said there was the Rubik's Cubes are so stiff, and we actually saw it sort of jam up before.
Right.
You had to lubricate the Rubik's Cube?
Yeah, there's a guy called Lars Petrus in Sweden, who I think is the Swedish Rubik's Cube champion. And he had... Oops. He had done this speed cubing page where he'd given all kinds of tips for loosening up cubes. And indeed, apparently the new cubes are stickier than the old cubes. So I'm not sure whether this is just people have had their cubes for so many years that they've got nice and worn in.
So you actually levered them open, torqued them open.
Yeah, I had to do that. It's kind of interesting how the Rubik's Cube is built, and it's essentially a spider of 6 pins.
Almost looks like a jack.
Right, exactly, like from a game of jacks. And those things are held in place and tensioned under springs. And to get the springs loose enough, I had to kind of ram some plastic knives in there between the faces of the cubes and leave it overnight. It was kind of nervous making it at that point, so I told a bunch of people that I was going to try and make this Lego robot, and you know, it's like when you say you're going to give up smoking or something, and then if you don't, people really...
Everybody's sort of edging on you, and when are you going to do it, when are you going to do it?
Giving it a hard time.
So how long in all did it take to do the whole, from conception to actually solving your first cube?
It was really incremental. I got a kind of working thing that was finished in about April. And it just wasn't quite as good as I would have liked it to have been. Plus, at that point, you had to input the cube state manually, which demanded knowing Sing Master notation, which is this kind of totally obscure British way of representing the cube.
Sure.
I wanted something that was a little bit more general than that, so I had to write this color recognition software, as I think I said, from scratch. You know, altogether it probably took about 6 months. I mean, it's a spare time thing. I didn't sort of sit in the lab for 6 months trying to crack it.
So I guess there actually was some code to actually solve the Rubik's Cube once you recognized it.
Oh yeah, it was great. There's a guy called Michael Reed who's a professor, he's a visiting professor at the University of Massachusetts in Boston. And some suboptimal code that he'd sent someone turned up on the web. Apparently he didn't know this was on the web until I contacted him. It'd been posted on an FTP site that I didn't know. But I'd taken that and then ported it to essentially to Visual C to make an OCX. Because what I wanted was some kind of software that everyone could...
We've actually already got one side is spaced. It looks like about to be 2 sides. Is it almost done?
Yeah, I think it's almost done.
So
it's just going to have to change it into an orientation where it can get to these two slices.
So we're going to finish that off. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to check back in a couple minutes to see if the Rubik's Cube status right after the break. In the meantime, check our website at thescreensavers.com for JP's detailed account of how he made Lego Mindstorms into the Cube Solver, because you can do it in two. And you know what? If you're a student or an instructor and you'd like to become involved in cable in the classroom, please email us at cic@techtv.com or visit us on the web at www.techtv.com.
Make thescreensavers.com your homepage. In Internet Explorer, drag the Internet shortcut over the home icon. Then click, yes, I want to make thescreensavers.com my homepage, wouldn't you? Then sit back and enjoy your fabulous new homepage.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton. We'd tell you the joke, but we'd be fired if we did.
And I'm Martin Sargent. Thanks a lot for joining us. Let's check in with the Rubik's Cube robot. Looks like the project is complete. Took the robot about 7 minutes. Of course, I can do it in about 2.5. I'm pretty amazed by that.
Get the extra Rubik's Cube. Give it to Marty. Let's see this 2.5-minute solution.
When I'm not doing the TV show, all right, I'll do it.
2.5 minutes.